Serpents and creeping things. A serpent is a kind of snake. So serpents, they creep by winding themselves along the ground. Here's a serpent, right? An adder is a kind of snake that lives, there's an adder, right? It's a kind of snake that lives in England, in the forests mainly, and in the woods. A water snake, here's a pond, here's a water snake, lives near water. And a viper, here's a viper, lives in the rocks. An asp lives in the fields. Here's an asp, very poisonous snake. And a house snake lives in the house. A slow worm, you find these in Ireland, is almost blind. It's got very small eyes and it can hardly see anything at all. A lizard, here's a lizard sitting on the rock in the sun. A lizard has got feet, 1, 2, 3, 4 feet. It's got a tail, it's got a head. Right. A dragon, this animal doesn't exist, it only exists in stories. It's basically a snake with wings, and sometimes it has feet, sometimes not. And in stories it kills with its breath, it shoots fire out of its mouth. And then number 10, the basilisk, also an animal that only exists in stories. It looks like a snake. It's got legs, it's got wings, it's got the head of an eagle, and it kills with its eyes, apparently, in stories. And then we have a scorpion, and a scorpion, here he is, he kills with his tail. And we have a salamander here. A salamander also only exists in stories, and a salamander in the stories, he lives in the fire. So only find this one in stories, and this one in stories, and this one in stories, and all the other ones actually are found in the real world. Right, this picture is full of insects and also arachnids. Insects have got 6 legs, arachnids have got 8 legs. So worms eat things. Here's an earthworm, and an earthworm eats the earth. A caterpillar, here's a caterpillar, it's a bit hairy, he eats plants. And a grasshopper, here's a grasshopper, he eats plants and fruits and things like that. And then we have a mite, number 4, and he eats the wheat and corn, so farmers don't like mites very much. A timberworm or woodworm, here we find him, eats wood, especially old rotten wood. And a moth, he eats clothes. There he is. There's a moth, and here's a nice bit of cloth, and he's having lunch. And a bookworm, there you find him there, eats books. And maggots, here's some maggots, they eat fish and cheese if you leave them out the fridge for a few days. The flies will lay eggs on them, and then the maggots will hatch, and they will eat your fish and your cheese, and your flesh and meat as well. Handworms are found in human hair. Right? We have a few little things. We have little fleas, which sometimes you find in your bed, and they bite you and leave a red mark. And we have lice, number 10, which live in your hair, and they also bite you, and they lay eggs called nits, which are also found in your hair. And we have number 11, the bed bug. Bed bugs are very hard to get rid of. They live in your bed, or they live in little holes in the wall, and they come out in the middle of the night, bite you, and go back again. It's very hard to kill them. Bed bugs. And we also have ticks. Ticks live and they suck blood. They look a bit like this as well, and when they suck their blood they swell up. We have silkworms that make silk, and we have little ants. Ants, when they bite you, their bite is very, very painful. Here's some ants here, right? And we have a spider, there he is in the middle of his web, and a spider weaves a web, and this web is a net, and it uses this web to catch flies. And we have a snail. There he is, number 16. And the snail carries her house around with her. Right? It's got a little shell on top. And this is called a snail horn, or a snail shell.